Welcome everybody on the Drum Talk TV page, Facebook Live at the NAMM Show 2018. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Yeah. And thank you for watching on DrumTalkTV.com. We're here with Daniel Glass. How's it going, Daniel?
What?
Yeah.
We must be in what they used to call Hall D.
Yeah.
They don't call it that anymore, so now you can't find anything.
It's Hall C now.
Oh, it's okay. Well,
Yeah.
I still can't hear anything, whatever they call it. It's like, huh? I love it. I love it. NAMM, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So happy to be here once again. My first NAMM show was 1991.
Wow.
That's how
They didn't
old
even
I am.
have plumbing in the building
They didn't
then.
even have plumbing, exactly, you know. But they had lots of like hair metal bands, which brought with them hair metal girls.
Oh, yeah.
This was back in the days when they had like girls in bikinis handing out free swag.
Yeah.
Not exactly as PC anymore, shall we say. But those
What,
are the, those
you mean
are the,
handing out the swag is not?
Right, yeah, exactly. The girls with the bikinis, well, I don't know.
What do you
But,
got going on that's new that maybe no one knows about yet?
What don't I have going on?
Yeah,
No,
what's-
I'm busier than ever, which is a great thing. Probably many of your viewers know I moved to New York, and now almost 8 years ago. I was a 20-year resident of Southern California, and I moved to New York 8 years ago. So I'm freelancing like a madman there. I play at Birdland every Monday night, the famous Birdland Jazz Club. I do a great show. If anybody is in New York on a Monday, come down. It's a really fantastic show. A couple of the guys from Liza Minnelli's band, her MD of 25 years,
Oh, wow.
started this regular night, and it's called Cast Party. And basically, it's the night when all the Broadway shows are dark.
Yeah,
And
they
so-
have that in Vegas.
You're right, they do. You know all about that. So not anymore. It used to be all of them, but now it's just so many shows. There's different nights that they're dark. But usually one night a week, a Broadway show is dark. So on Mondays, all the Broadway people started coming and having like, let's get around the piano and sing our favorite tunes and do all kinds of stuff. And after 15 years, that show is now a show. And we get people like Liza Minnelli and Cheetah Rivera and Lisa Lampanelli and Weird Al
Wow.
Yankovic and Kenny Loggins and Dave Koz and Michael Feinstein and Art Garfunkel, and it's like,
I'm waiting for you to get to someone I know.
oh, I think we know those people, but probably nobody out there does.
No, I
right?
think they do.
Oh,
I think
okay,
they
all
do.
right.
Yeah.
Hey kids, you should know you're.
So how's the show in New York
Yes,
going,
exactly.
Danny?
Well, okay. Ariana Grande got her start coming to Cast Party. And we get a lot of young people, a lot of American Idol winners come on. I mean, it's insane. It's like the most heavyweight open mic night you'll ever be at. And what I do, I'm in the house trio, and it's a 2.5-hour show without a break. We don't know who's coming up. Most times I don't get a chart, so I have to telepath it from the musical director.
I love that.
And it is I call it going to the gym, because it's like, you're at Birdland.
Yeah.
You can't blow it,
Yeah.
And a lot of these are obscure show tunes that are in 5, and they have stops in the weirdest places and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's a great gig. It's challenging, and what we try to do is on every single song make it feel like we've been playing that song for 20 years. And most of the time, I've been doing the gig now since the first year I got to New York, so like 7 years. We're really good at it. People are blown away, because it just sounds like we've been playing with these people and we've been playing these songs. And of course, me being a stylist and historian, we'll go from playing a 1920s thing to playing like a traditional Broadway thing to a 50s Sinatra thing to a rock and roll thing. People have come in and done Journey songs. People have come in and done just all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And, country tune, an early rhythm and blues tune, people come in to do Jerry Lee Lewis all the time. We always get the piano players from the $1 Million Quartet show. They want to do their Jerry Lee Lewis thing. So it's great, because that's kind of my wheelhouse. It's what I'm built for. So that's been the basis of my New York gig existence for quite a while.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then I've got, last year when I was on, I told you about a project I'm working on with Kelly Ray Tubbs. We're still working on it, but you'll appreciate this. 2 days ago, we interviewed Viola Smith.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah, and I know you did a great interview with her.
Thank you.
What is so amazing is
Wait,
that...
for those who don't know, Viola Smith is on our website. I interviewed her at 102 years old.
She's now 105.
Right. She was 102. I was 52.
Exactly.
Whoa, she's 50 years older than me.
Well,
that's weird. Think about that.
Dude, it's insane. So here's something that'll blow your mind. So we show Kelly found a postcard of Viola's family band, which was called the Schmidt Sisters, from 1926. And she was born in 12, so she was a 14-year-old girl in 1926. So to sit in the same room with somebody who was alive in 1926, let alone a professional drummer.
And a girl.
Who went on to have a stellar career, and so many amazing and interesting kind of things that we learned. For example, in that picture, she's holding the drumsticks both in traditional grip.
Yeah.
And this was not uncommon.
Right.
And there's so many crazy things from this early era, and we were asking her all these things about how people held their sticks and how they played the drums and what they were doing. And to have somebody that age she's so lucid.
Well,
she's
see,
so
that's
together,
the thing.
And she could validate, and we're asking very specific,
Right.
things that we're researching that we have no other way of validating.
But what Danny doesn't know is that, bless her heart, Viola doesn't remember anything. She's just making all this crap up.
Yeah, right. Well,
No, it
here's
isn't.
hoping not.
It is indeed amazing that she remembers so much specificity about growing up and being influenced by the family and all those stories. It's just amazing.
Cool.
I can't remember what I had this morning for breakfast.
I know.
Or if I had breakfast. Or...
So here's something else that's really cool. I don't know if you've seen this clip of Viola. I unearthed this clip. So she was part of the original Broadway cast of the show Cabaret, made famous by Liza Minnelli.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She was in the first 3 years of the show, which started running in 1966. She did it from 66 to 70. And it won Tonys and everything. It was the hit of the year. You can look up the 1967 Tony Awards, and you could see her in the presentation. So what she did in that show, she wasn't in the pit orchestra. She was in... People I know. She was in the band on stage, because Cabaret takes place in a cabaret in Berlin in the 1920s, and it's all very cool and chic. And there is an all-female jazz band on stage playing 1920s music. So I found a clip from the television show I've Got a Secret, hosted by Steve Allen from 1966.
Wow.
And for those who don't know, which is probably most people, I've Got a Secret was a game show. You had a panel of celebrities, and they would bring an ordinary person up who had a secret. And the celebrities, it was like 20 questions. They had to ask them these questions about...
It was kind of like, what's my line, sort
Kind of like, what's my line? And they would ask these people about, are you this, are you that? And so they brought the trombone player from the Kit Kat band up, because she was like a doctor by day or something, and then did this show at night, because he was also a musician. So at the end of the show, the Kit Kat band plays live. And it's on my Facebook page, Daniel Glass, drummer, author, educator, which, by the way, thank you for all your guidance.
Sure.
And this guy is the man for social media, as you all know.
Thank you.
10 zillion followers. But Viola is killing it, okay?
Yeah.
She's playing like a Dixieland style, and I know people think, oh, Dixieland, how boring and how lame. Just watch this video. These drummers could play their asses off, serious chops.
Yeah.
So then you were talking about how old she is compared to you. This is in 1966, okay?
So I was 3.
Viola Smith was 54 years old in 1966, and she's still alive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we showed her this clip. She had never seen a lot of these clips, and she was freaking out. It was so cool.
Oh,
So anyway,
that's sweet.
I'm always doing the research. I have a podcast, like
great.
everybody else.
Yeah. Tell them how to get there.
Well, are you familiar with Drummer's Resource? I'm sure you are. Drummer's Resource is probably one of the biggest drumming podcasts on the web. And Nick Ruffini, who started that, is a former student of mine and a mentee of mine, although he would never admit to that today. But it's all good. And so I started a show called The Daniel Glass Show on Drummer's Resource. And what I do is I dig into all the history stuff. I dig into a lot of the wisdom stuff I learned from Freddie Gruber and the other people I've studied with, and just pulling things together in big picture ways and little picture ways. And the work I do with the Facebook page, which has been great, I can blow that out and really get deep into some of these concepts and some of these historical ideas and the things that I do. And also, I've been in this business now for 27 years, which kind of blows me away, but I have some pretty amazing stories. So there's a 2-part podcast about my experiences on the Warped Tour, 1997 and 1998. I was like Forrest Gump fly on the wall for so much amazing shit that was happening.
That's okay.
Okay. And then, so I'll do those kind of stories from the road. And then I don't do interviews because all the podcast people do interviews, so I'm doing something a little different, but I do have conversations with drummers.
Great.
So for example, Steve Smith and I got together and talked about early rock and roll because we wrote a book together called The Roots of Rock Drumming. And I just had a guy named Lamont Lawhorn on there. I don't know if you know Lamont.
I have.
He's a really great gospel drummer. There's a lot of those around. But he wrote a doctoral dissertation about the evolution of gospel drumming, modern gospel drumming. So if people are interested in gospel chops and what's going on with all that, most of you just see these guys playing. It's like, well, where did they come from? And I think they grew up in the church, but what's that all about?
Yeah.
This guy tells that whole story. And then
That's
we're going to
awesome.
have Eric Singer on. We're not going to mention Kiss at all. We're going to talk about the fact that he grew up in Cleveland and all the cool like garage rock and other stuff that he was surrounded by, and the fact that his father was a jazz musician in a big band.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that,
Right, right.
And so these are the kind of things that I do on the podcast, and it's really turned into a whole thing. And it's a beautiful thing. A Drummer's Resource, they get millions of downloads, I think. I mean,
That's
so
awesome.
it's a good place for me to step in and be involved with. And
Great.
I'm teaching a lot on Skype too. I should mention. I mentioned I studied with Freddie Gruber for 6 years, but I've taken that stuff and wound it together with the wisdom stuff and all the drum history stuff to teach people the why behind the what is what I call it. And I've developed a pretty amazing plan, system in a way. And now I've got like about 15 hours a week, which for a guy who's a full-time drummer and a full-time educator, that's about 60 students a month. So it's amazing. And they're from all over the world, 5 continents. I have a guy from Eastern Kazakhstan. I teach one of the biggest rock stars in Russia.
Oh,
his
that's
name,
great.
yeah, his name is Boris. What's his last name? I can't remember his last name.
I know who you mean.
He's in a band called B3,
Okay,
who
cool.
are like U2
Yeah.
of Russia.
That's great.
And
you can
Boris
see.
Boris Lifshitz. That's his name.
You can see
He's a
there's
nice Jewish boy,
It
by the way.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to tap into regarding what Daniel does, drumming history, drumming styles, drumming education. Go to danielglass.com, and thank you so much
My
for
pleasure,
taking
man.
time. Really appreciate it.
So great to see you, Dan.
So great to
Always,
see you, too.
always. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy everything's going well for you.
Oh, thanks.
So much fun to see you and Enja and Lori and everybody here.
Thank you.
At the NAMM show.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for watching on Facebook Live on the Drum Talk TV channel and on drumtalktv.com. Thanks.